Hi world, welcome to this video. This is Tina from TinaHills.com, and today I'm making a Jupiter through the 12 signs video series. Okay, so if you have your Jupiter in the sign of Capricorn, then this is your video. What do I mean by Jupiter in the sign of Capricorn? What can you expect? Now, let's understand the symbology of Jupiter. So, Jupiter is known as the great benefic in astrology. Venus is the lesser benefic, and Saturn, who rules Capricorn, is the greater malefic. So, Jupiter in Capricorn is kind of like an interaction between the greater benefic and the greater malefic. Okay, so this is not a good placement of Jupiter. And why is that? It's because Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer, and Cancer is the opposite or the polarity of Capricorn. And in astrology, whenever a planet holds rulership, it always or is exalted. Then in the opposite polarity, it's always in detriment or fall, or it's just not a good placement. So as I said, why do you think that is? It's because Jupiter's interaction with Saturn here, that kind of puts a lid on things. And before anything, Jupiter expands. Jupiter is expands everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And Jupiter in Vedic myths is known as Brihaspati, or the great teacher, the guru of the gods. So in a sense, you can understand how powerful the energy of Jupiter is. If you put all the planets together 1.5 times, then you get the mass of Jupiter. Some say that Jupiter was even supposed to be a sun, but did not live up to that promise and became a planet and our spiritual guide. Jupiter is humanity's spiritual guide, and it's a gas giant, so it quickly expands everything. And what happens when this, okay, now before anything, Jupiter, if you try to understand the logos, and it expands all the way from the sun and then moves through the solar system, and once it comes to Mars, after that, it, what do we see? We see the asteroid belt. It's a state of the fragmentation of the soul, because what are asteroids? They're planets that could not become planets due to collisions or other factors. So they became space debris. And after that comes in Jupiter. That is all about integration. As it's about expanding, it's also about integration of what you've learned so far. The asteroids are kind of like, if Mars's energy goes unimpeded, then you can understand what will happen. Because all growth, all growth for the sake of it can be cancerous. Okay, what is cancer? The cells in the body just growing and expanding and not understanding that it's part of a larger organism. That's when cells start to malfunction and diseases occur. So with Jupiter in Capricorn, the energy is not always just about expanding wildly, because here Saturn comes in and holds its reins on Jupiter. It's like, okay, no, not so quick. And materialism is a huge part of this placement. Material acquisition, acquiring things, because understand that the sole lesson of Capricorn is ultimately mastery over 3D, because Capricorn is one such sign that in the esoteric and exoteric parlance is ruled by Saturn. So Saturn is the ultimate karma bearer. Okay, and it's to whom we have to answer for what we have sown. We reap what we sow. Saturn, it's all about that. Saturn is about constriction, restriction. So Jupiter here, obviously, you understand the great malefic and the great benefic, feuding it out. Would you expect, you know? One has to give. Is Jupiter going to become more subservient to Saturn and say, okay, well, no, I'm not going to expand so much, I now value contraction? Or is Saturn going to be the final dispositor and say that no, it's about you not expanding mindlessly, about contracting, because it's really everything must be at a balance. And again, a Capricorn Jupiter, if well aspected, can be about this balance, can be about calculated thinking, calculated philosophy, definitely a pinch of the traditional, because Saturn likes tradition. Saturn is the patriarchy. Saturn is about the judicial system that we have. So the hospitals that we have. So Jupiter here can definitely, if it's functioning in a very positive aspect, it can help people become teachers and life coaches to people who are incarcerated. Also, think about that. They people like that also need help. I saw this viral video where inmates were doing yoga, and how amazing is that? So that's kind of like someone with a Jupiter and Capricorn who's a life coach or who's a teacher is going to think of, okay, something practical. So spirituality here has to be practical. Cannot be some sort of abstraction. Capricorn doesn't do well with abstraction. Okay, this is about a concretization of matter, solidifying into, like the rings of Saturn, the boundaries of karma. So I guess there could be a conflict here if you're tuning into the fall aspect, and if you're tuning into the harsh placements, if you have any. But other than that, what I see that you are definitely gonna have a lot of money with Jupiter in Capricorn, because you're gonna be so methodical about your expansion. Methodical is Saturn, expansion is Jupiter. You're going to be so methodical about the way you go about your business, about the way you're a boss, okay? With Jupiter's placement here, you're definitely not going to want to play second fiddle to anyone. You're the boss of your life. You are similarly the boss of your spiritual life. I mean, you may be traditional in the sense that if your family expects you to go to the church, expects you to do some puja at home, you may do it, but it doesn't mean that you really believe in it, okay? Because you have your own understanding. That Capricorn always gives a unique perspective, okay, as something that, and sometimes the detached energy of Capricorn actually works, because as I said, Jupiter can be about a lot of empty promises sometimes, and illusions and delusions can seep in. But Capricorn brings in that solid, uh, right here right now energy that Jupiter can benefit from. Okay, but the Jupiter as well as Saturn both have a very traditional aspect, and what I see with this is laws, because both these planets have to do with laws and justice and karma and spiritual awareness. If you see the sign Jupiter rules, it's Sagittarius. Okay, the sign right before Capricorn. Sagittarius is all about spiritual awareness. Okay, a spiritual awareness, because in Capricorn you're finally going to have to climb up that mountain. And then Capricorn has three archetypes, three levels of awareness: the mountain goat, the sea goat, and the unicorn. So you also have to see how expansion, or how your spiritual principles are taking shape. Are you the really practical, grounded, material mountain goat? And you're only interested to climb the mountain of affluence, of material acquisition? Or are you the sea goat that you're swimming about in the seas of life, trying to explore and understand what is out there? Okay, or are you the unicorn? Unicorn is a symbol of magic. That means that you have truly awakened to the full potentiality of Capricorn. Okay, and the solid understanding of your soul karma with Jupiter and Capricorn. So that was a bit about Jupiter's placement in Saturn's domicile. And I hope you like that. Don't forget to leave me a comment, a like, subscribe, share, and don't forget to visit my website www.tinahills.com. Thank you.